All right. I don't have a song or nothing today. Nothing like that. I just had some thoughts I wanted to get out there to the world, I guess. I can't sleep because these thoughts that run through my mind. It happens sometimes, and I just got to make a video about it, or else I probably won't be able to sleep. But I was reading in this book. It was a man named Jim Elliot. I mentioned him last video. And in that book, there was written something that said, seek the glory of Christ above a list of do's and don'ts. And I've heard other men say that and say pretty much the same thing in a different way. And I guess I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I mean, first we have to define what the word glory is. There's a problem in our society with defining words, and it's very important to define things. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. The first definition of glory is high renown or honor won by notable achievements. That's not the definition we're talking about. There's another one that is magnificence or great beauty. That is the definition of glory that we're talking about. And that phrase, seek the glory of Christ, seek the beauty of Christ, the magnificence of Christ above a list of do's and don'ts. A lot of time in the religious world, you can get caught up in do this, don't do that kind of mentality, and it doesn't have any real love for God in it. I guess you can just do it because that's what God says, and I don't really want to do it, but I'm just gonna do it anyway because God says. And there's no real love for God there in that kind of mentality. But when you're seeking and chasing after the beauty of Christ, that changes. When you see things that are beautiful about Christ, that are magnificent about Him, it causes you to want to lay down everything for Him, to obey Him, to give up everything for Him. You don't give up everything for Him just because, He says so or something, or because it's a list of do's and don'ts. That doesn't happen. It's only when you see the beauty of Him that you want to give up everything for Him. And I guess I'll just give an example of something I was thinking about the beauty of Christ. I was sitting there thinking about this one chapter in John, and he goes in the temple with a whip. He makes a whip of cords and drives out all the money changers and all the people selling and buying in the temple. He drove them out. I mean, whipping a whip, overturning these money tables, just being angry, mad, and for right reason, because people were making the temple of God a place for trade and their wicked desires. He was just so angry and furious. And there's a verse that's quoted in there. It says, zeal for your house will consume me. He was zealous for God and the temple of God in that moment, angry. And then you read a couple of chapters later, and there's these Pharisees surrounding a woman who just got caught in adultery, and they want to stone her. And Jesus says, let the one without sin cast the first stone. And then they all go away or whatever. And he goes up to her, and yet he's so merciful and compassionate to her, and so gentle with her. And that's an example of what I'm talking about, the beauty of Christ, the glory of Christ. How can a man be so perfectly balanced on two completely different things? The anger and zeal is completely different than gentleness and compassion and kindness and lowliness. You very, very rarely see one of those perfectly balanced in a man. Anger, righteous anger, and mercy and compassion and that gentleness. But to have both of them perfectly balanced in one man, you don't see that anywhere. I've never seen that in a man in my entire life. I've never seen that. I've never even seen hardly one trait perfectly balanced in a man. And Christ has both of those perfectly balanced. And we can see that as we read about Him. And we could spend eternity talking about these things. Go find them for yourself. Go read the Gospels for yourself. If you're listening to this and you're not a believer, go start in the book of John. Go read it and try to see what I'm talking about. That's all I really have to say, though. I don't know why, but I just feel like I got to get those thoughts out there. I hope this video helps somebody, and that's really all I got. Peace out.